Okay, so I talked about making this book if I have that marked as private and only other users can see your book. How do you add users? So if I go down to on the left-hand side, you can see that there's a users tab, and on that tab, it's got me listed, and this is where I can add a new user. So if I click add new, if it's an existing user on your network, then all you need is their email address. So if I wanted to add Rob, now he isn't popping up on as a user on this network, but he would be on yours. So you just finish that email address. And I'm going to choose at this time what role I'd like to add Rob. Now, Rob is going to help me with the actual adding other users, and he's going to help me with a few things. So I might want to add him as an administrator. But there's more in the user guide about the different roles and levels of access to each role. Administrator is our highest level. And subscriber is the lowest level. So as a subscriber, you can basically view private content. So if you're sharing your book with a reviewer, that might be you want to set them up as a subscriber. Or if you're still working on your book and you want to share it with a class of students, you might share it as a subscriber. You can add existing, you can do a bulk ad of students. So if you had a class list and have their email addresses, you could do a bulk ad through Pressbooks so that you add all those users as subscribers. So sorry, all those students as subscribers.
John, can I jump in and ask a question that came in the chat?
Absolutely.
We're sort of addressing those as we go rather than waiting until the end.
Yeah, you bet.
A question came in and asked about the use of academic journal articles and New York Times articles for the book. And it says, if so, how can we clear copyright of academic papers? So it's just sort of, I guess, thinking about how, something outside of the network, including something like that in a book, what advice would you offer there?
Yeah, that's for not to defer, but my probably best advice that you could follow in something like that is to check with your librarian before you include material that you don't know is openly licensed. So something like a New York Times article, you might link to that article, and you can do links to other websites within Pressbooks. That might be the best way to do it, because I'm not sure if your students will have access to New York Times articles through your library, but that might be the best way to do that link through your Pressbook. But I would just get some advice from a librarian or someone working at UNF in a publishing capacity to help you with those copyright issues. And so if Rob wasn't on this network, and he's not, so I just want to add him here. I'm just going to add his email, and we'll just go Rob as his username, and create him as an editor, and we'll click add new user, and Rob will get an email that will invite him to this book. So at that time, then Rob would be added to the list of users. And what's nice there is that once you have that, especially if you have information on your own account, whether it's first name, last name, maybe a biography, in the book info area, which I'll go into now, in that book info area, you can add other collaborators. So you can create a new collaborator. So these are different roles: editors, translators, reviewers. And when you're creating a new contributor in these areas, basically you're adding another user to your book. So within the book information area, anything can be changed. So the title of your book can be changed. So if I wanted to change this from a demo book title to something a little bit more descriptive, I can do that. The only thing that you can't change as a user on your Pressbook site is the actual URL of the book that you gave it to begin with. So just as you're doing that, you might want to take a little bit of care in selecting that title. The title in the URL, so this March demo 2023 portion, that can be changed, but not by an individual user. So it's something that you're going to have to go to your network managers to request a change to that URL. So it's just something that you won't be able to do yourself. So you might have a short title, a subtitle. Like I said, the contributors in our contributors area. If I go into the contributor feature box, this is where you can include more information on your contributors. So this is an area that I might fill out as an author, my full name, prefix. I can upload a picture. I can include the institutional information, any links to my website, Twitter, LinkedIn, and that's where I can update that. And that would show up in the author information areas as you go through the book. To go a little bit further down past here, back in the book information area, the publisher city, the publisher, you might already have discussed how you want UNF, your Pressbooks network, to be recognized as a publisher. But that's, again, something that your network managers will have a better idea on. And as I showed you in the sample book we looked at, you can, if you have an ISBN for your ebook or a print ISBN, you can include that here. You can also include a DOI if you have that, and you can select the language. So this sets the metadata language for your book. So if you want to change that, there's lots of basically lots of different languages to choose from at this stage, and it does change the metadata and the area for the book into that language. Here's our cover image tool, so you can create a cover image. And you can choose that file. There is more information in our guide around cover images and generating covers, but this is where each book that's created new will be given this generic Pressbooks cover. But this is where you can make changes, and there's an awful lot of great covers out there in the Pressbooks directory. Information about subject areas. So we follow thema subject terms. And there's thousands of subject areas to choose from. You can do a search. You can add multiple subjects to your book, and so that, again, so that in the directory or in other areas, your book is more searchable and findable once you're completed. So additional subjects, institution. This is a field that so I know that. University of North Florida, so you can include that here. If you're collaborating with other institutions, you can also include those institutions in this field as well. And copyright. So this is where you can set the copyright. So all books that are started will start if there is no copyright license selected. Any book will start all rights reserved. So unless you make a change to that and you select one of the Creative Commons licenses, it will be all rights reserved. You can set the copyright holder, a copyright notice. You can fill that out here. But again, before you select one of the Creative Commons licenses, you might want to double check with the librarian and get more information about what each of those licenses requires, and just what that means for you as you set up the book as an author. So, and the last field in the book information is just a short description. Again, these are things that will show up in your a paragraph that will show up within your catalog and within the Pressbooks directory if you choose to be included there. I do have a list of some different links, and I'll share that with Jan and Rob after this. Some different links that I've put together. And so I'll share this document with them. Well, actually, I can share it with you now. Why do we? Anyone who has this link can find it. And so it's just a Google Doc where we've put together a number of helpful links to resources. And so, yeah, that's all available here. Again, there's a link to the guide, the directory, our YouTube channel, but also some information on that we'll go through